All right, my friends, here we go. The third and final game here between MC and KiLLeR, and finally, his name is OGSMC. I don't know why he was Blizz Event A for those first two games, but I'm sure there's a good reason behind it. So yes, this is the third and final game here in this best-of-3 series here between MC and KiLLeR. This time we're here on Shattered Temple. We are, of course, tied up 1-1. We've got MC spawning over here in the 9 o'clock position as our red Protoss player, and over here in the 3 o'clock is KiLLeR as the blue Zerg player. Oh boy, looking forward. It's been pretty interesting so far. That first game, MC going heavy Phoenix harass plus warping in Zealots into KiLLeR's main. He managed to overwhelm him just with that type of harass. But last game, coming out the woodwork there, KiLLeR with some really quick Ultralists. And I say quick because coming out with Ultralists before the 20-minute game mark is pretty nuts, and it proved to be very effective. So that Ultra Speedling build there, plus those Infestors for KiLLeR, obviously worked. He completely overwhelmed what MC had. And you may have said, well, what about force fields? Well, that's the thing. With those Ultras in play, you just trample right over those force fields, so that really wouldn't have helped him much at all either. Those quick Ultras, especially with those armor upgrades, are so powerful. Now, we can see MC not deciding to go for a Forge Fast Expand. You do see that every now and then on this map. This expansion opening isn't that large so that it's undoable, but it looks like MC will be deciding to start off on one base play now. Also, KiLLeR starting off on one base for some very fast Speedlings. We can see right now that Extractor in much earlier than that spawning pool. That's going to give him that 100 Vespian pretty much the second that spawning pool finishes. He'll be able to afford that Metaball boost right away. Now, MC is a professional, so in scouting out and checking the timing of that pool and the fact that that Extractor was already up, he pretty much knows what's going on right now. That fast Speedlings are, in fact, what's going to be coming into play, so he'll be able to know to just be prepared for that at the very least. He doesn't want to get any of his units out and trapped, for example, like an early Stalker or Sentry. Certainly would want to be careful pushing out with that when you know that Speedlings are going to be out as early as they will be here for KiLLeR. So yes, MC's Gateway is up right now. Here goes that Cyber Core. Bam, right there. The one spot there for that Zealot as well. He is still just on that one gas. If he gets a second gas before that Cyber Core finishes, that'll imply that he's going for a relatively gas-heavy build, and we'll have to see. Could be something like a 3-gate. Oh, there we go. Could be something like a 3-gate Sentry heavy expand build, anything of the sort. So KiLLeR has those first 4 Zerglings. Here comes that Metabolic Boost, pulling all but one of those guys off the gas. So still sitting with that one drone, mining that Vespian. First 4 Zerglings for map control and also for getting rid of this annoying probe. He should be able to shoo that away, no problem. Probably fanning out those Zerglings just in case that probe is hidden. He wants to check all those nooks and crannies. So as you can see, spreading out with those. And managed to catch this one. However, he should pull away just in time. There we go. We've got that Zealot just about finished. Will he be following up with Sentry or Stalker? Let's see what it is. Looks like it will be Stalker. So MC opening up with the Zealot, then going right into the Stalker. We've got that Probe Scout pushing across through this direction, and he will be trying to move in for that secondary scouting. He does want to see that. He actually wants eyes on the fact that that hatchery has come up, and then try to move on into the main and see if KiLLeR is going for a Roach Warren or anything like that as well. Right now, though, just situated with that probe over here, looks like that Zergling Scout will spot him. Not sure if I'm not sure if KiLLeR's paying enough attention to actually see that, though. Actually losing, unfortunately, the Zergling over here to that Stalker. Looks like, yes, he did, in fact, get the kill. And, ooh, moving on with the probe. Is it going to be a 1-gate expand? Could very well be the case. We've got a Sentry coming on through. Don't see any additional gateways getting placed down here for MC. And, again, that probe hasn't been spotted by KiLLeR, so that secondary scouting will be taking place and not too long from now. We get an Overlord moving on across this position. That will be used as a sacrificial Overlord later in the game to get some scout. And oh, fast DT here from MC. So MC going for very fast Dark Templar, and we'll have to see how KiLLeR is prepared to deal with that. His expansion is up right now. We have an Evolution Chamber that will, of course, allow him to drop those Spore Crawlers to deal with those DT. Keep in mind also, MC has been going very aggressive Phoenix play, so we may even see KiLLeR just go for that Spore Crawler just to defend against that, and that will actually in turn help him against the DT that are coming out. But streaming some of these Zerglings in the base, MC not having that full wall off, has to contend with a few of these Zerglings. Again, we don't expect him to kill much, but even just doing a little bit of damage this early in the game certainly helps him quite a bit. Let's see how much he's able to do right now. I'm not sure if these Zerglings, there we go, fanning out with those probes, managing to kill off the rest of those Zerglings, no problem. Looks like he didn't take that heavy of a loss right there. In fact, overall, KiLLeR is in the more detrimental position. Here's that secondary scouting moving on through. Didn't get too much information other than the fact that that expansion was up. We do have a proxy pylon sitting over here, and oh, looks like KiLLeR's going to spot that. So he's got that free pylon kill right now. Or is he just sitting over here? Is he going to move it up there? I hope he does. Pretty sure he's going to. And there we go. Moving right on up into this base. He's spotting that pylon. So, that, again, that is a free kill right there for KiLLeR. Dark Shrine just coming in. Where are those DT getting warped in? They're going to get warped in down here. So, here go the DT. And let's see how much damage he's able to do. We do have these Spore Crawlers. KiLLeR is obviously going to be able to see them. This Dark Templar, where'd he go? Did he die? No, he must have. Oh, they must have killed him while I was warping in. I'm sorry. That makes a lot of sense. Getting a full surround on that Dark Templar as well. And MC taking some pretty heavy losses right there. In fact, he's behind right now as a result of losing those 2 DT. So he lost the one over here because it was killed off by those Zerglings while it was warping in. And then the pylon got taken out, and he also lost the DT from that surround over there. This DT, though, going to be able to get a couple free kills over there. MC now starting to work into his expansion, realizing that unfortunately that DT opening did not work in his favor. Zerglings moving down and try to do a bit of damage. This force should be enough, although a couple more Zerglings starting to look a little scary. DT is becoming necessary right now in order to defend against this. Zerglings just trying to do as much damage. Very nice force field placement there by MC. That was actually fantastic. Oh no, Zerglings moving up into the main. So again, some more harass here. Not enough for KiLLeR to actually devastate the economy, but still just should be able to do a little bit to disrupt it. Stop mining momentarily. We saw him have to flower up all those Zerglings together to try to prevent them from doing. We saw him flower up all those probes to prevent those Zerglings from doing too much damage. And look at this, just a ring around the rosy here. Zerglings moving around, taking advantage of that speed upgrade, and just kind of toying with MC right now. So very, very nice early game so far from KiLLeR. That was excellent defense against those Dark Templar. He had no issue with that whatsoever. Would like to see him move into his third, though. We do have that layer tech just popping right now. There's that Roach Warren to get that range upgrade, so he will be going to some Roach play. And let's take a look if he decides to try for that high yield, or if he's going to go with his third expansion to be situated right over here. Doing a little bit of Overlord spread. I believe, yes, he can spread that creep right now because he does have that layer tech up. We've got that Roach speed coming on through right now. Any other upgrades? No, just pumping out a couple more Overlords. DT trying to do what he can for a little bit of harassing right now. He's going to try to sneak up in the main. Not going to happen. Spore Crawler for detection. Roaches for the damage. DT was forced back. He's going to be moving back right now, checking for possible expansions. Yes, that is what he's doing. So he's just doing a little bit of scouting at this point in the game. Back over here for MC, we have got a robotics facility coming in. Now with that Twilight Council, would like to see some upgrades, possibly getting some Charge Zealots into play. Might as well take advantage of the fact that he has that. It was necessitated by that early game Dark Shrine. Pylon in the corner of the base, and that will allow him to spot whenever the Sacrificial Overlord moves in. Although maybe he won't at this point in the game. It's obviously continuous scouting is effective though, so he could still save this for a later date. Maybe even get an Overseer out of one of these, try to drop a Changeling, or even drop a Contaminate on one of the buildings researching or trying to come out with anything like that. So we've got 2 observers coming on through here for MC. First one finished right now. That's getting chrono boosted through. That will be heading across the map right now, trying to get some clutch intel. We've got a big Roach push coming out, also moving with that Overseer to try to deal with some DT. This is a very strong Roach push coming out from KiLLeR, and that's a little bit scary right now. MC has to push back. He's in a little bit of a rough position. He's warping in quite a few units, though. He also has these sentries right now. Now, we've got that Burrow research coming through. Yes, we have the observers, though, so we should be okay. Here's that second observer popping out. Should be okay against any possible burrow harassment that we may be seeing KiLLeR do. And let's see, there we go. The observer is ready for this right now. And let's see, force fields go down. And is he going to even try to burrow? Does he know that that observer's there? I'm not. Yeah, he should be able to spot that. So he will not even bother wasting burrows, because if he does, he'll just be losing these units unnecessarily. And my gosh, KiLLeR just pushing himself against that wall. He's trying to do as much damage as possible. Looks like he is ready for that retreat right now, realizing he's a little outgunned at this point. He will be walking back home. Turning around, though, because he's got some reinforcement roaches. Targeting down those sentries. Those are prime targets right now, stopping those force fields as well as those guardian shields. And oh boy, KiLLeR killing off all those sentries. He's working his way through that stalker count as well. Stalkers trying to wedge themselves, make those roaches, and make it a little more difficult for them to catch up. The stalker range is larger than that of the roach, so if he can wedge himself in a good position, it puts those roaches in a little bit of a difficult spot. So that's what he's trying to do right now. Micro back and take advantage of that range that he has, and losing that pylon as well. KiLLeR doing a lot of damage here. He's taking his losses, of course, as well, because it looks like he will be losing most of these roaches. We get some more reinforcements coming down. Needs to target fire down that Immortal if he's going to continue and engage right now. That Immortal will work its way through those roaches very, very quickly. Zealots getting sniped down. Looks like KiLLeR has had enough, at least momentarily, pushing back, giving himself a little breathing room, allowing some of these reinforcements to come through. We do have those tunneling claws coming out, so that will allow those burrowed roaches to try to sneak up on the army of MC. But again, this observer is out. KiLLeR is aware of it. Unfortunately, though, no anti-air to actually deal with that. Stalker coming on through. That roach count should be able to take him out. No oh, no. Wow, I didn't realize he was such low health. So unfortunately, that Overseer did get taken out right now. We do have a couple more. Okay, those those are miss rallies. Please, please walk those back home. Otherwise, you will be losing those overlords once that stalker count does manage to push out. Back in the main base, we got Gateway Heavy. Robotics Bay is up, although I'm not seeing any Colossus come out. Just sticking with those Immortals for now to deal with this Roach Heavy count. There's that second Overseer right now. We've got Blink Stalkers coming on through. We do have that Hydra Den that's going to be very necessary right now for KiLLeR. Unfortunately, though, once MC spots those Hydras, he should be making that transition right into Colossus because those do very, very well against Hydralists. And again, these Overlords are in a very vulnerable position. They were misrallied to the middle. And again, he's still dealing with spreading out these Overlords. KiLLeR, that's no good at all. Those are, again, super vulnerable. If we saw MC push out with this force, he could get a few free kills, like that one in particular. Not looking too pretty right now. And I wonder if MC's even aware of that. No, he can't spot it quite yet. So here we go. KiLLeR finally moving into his third. He did hold off on that because of that early aggression. He was just dumping so many resources into it. We've got that range upgrade coming out for those Hydralists. There moves that Observer across the map. The Overseer will be spotting it, but again, without that anti-air, without those Hydralists anywhere near, not going to be able to take care of that. So Overseer trying to push down. Sorry if you heard that. Overseer trying to push down, and the Hydras will be sniping it out. Look how quickly those Hydras take out those Observers. No problem whatsoever. The damage on the Hydra is so very high, but at the same time, they are very vulnerable. So that's kind of the risk-reward. The cost-benefit is actually what I'm trying to look to say there. Roach is taking out these rocks very quickly. We will be seeing KiLLeR moving to that high-yield expansion. Again, he does have this base up. Looks like he's just utilizing the Vespian Geysers at this moment. He's got a few more workers transferring down, so we'll start to make use of those mineral fields as well. And again, we've got that expansion coming down at the high yield over there. Still some more Overlords. My gosh, what is up with these rally points? KiLLeR, please change this. He just keeps sitting in the middle of the map with these Overlords, and that's pretty much not what he wants to do because they're so vulnerable. If he gets that speed, it makes it a little bit better. In fact, he is coming out with that speed, so once that's finished, it's a lot easier to deal with Overlords in the middle because if they do get targeted, you can somewhat maneuver them out of the way. Looks like he will be spreading them out a little bit and then, in fact, taking advantage of that speed. We got that Baneling Nest just about finished right now. Lots of Speedlings popping out. One upgrade right now. Actually, two upgrades, so it's 2 melee attack upgrade. And actually, KiLLeR pushing up, destroying these rocks, and providing himself an avenue into this third expansion for MC. We might see MC come down with some buildings over here to try to prevent that from happening because Speedlings, even a small group of them running into this expansion, would be very, very dangerous. In fact, we'd have quite a few Speedlings right now for KiLLeR, so he could even take advantage of this opportunity right now and at the same time maybe push on into this expansion. One of those double-pronged attacks, that is always a good idea, typically very, very effective. Thermal Lance upgrade coming out for MC. Also, the weapons level 1s. Got more Colossus coming out. Also, continuing up that macro, working on that probe count, working for that very strong economy. Lots of photon cannons sitting over here. So that will be MC's defense against any possible Speedling pushes in that direction. Look at all these Banelings for KiLLeR. KiLLeR coming out with a ton of Banelings. Now, he does have the Overlord dropping capabilities, and I think he will be utilizing that. So, lifting up those Banelings into those Overlords, he's ready for an engagement, be it some harass on the Econ or an actual full-on fight where he'll be dropping the Banelings onto the main army of MC. Either way, those Baneling drops so very effective. Carapace level 1 coming through. There is the weapons level 2 as well for MC. We've got more Colossus, another Observer, allowing him to get some cloak detection. We have a Scouting Observer situated over here. He will be spotting out this expansion right here. I'm not sure if MC knows about that high yield yet, though. I don't think he's scouted that quite yet. Okay, yes, he has. So he did manage to scout that. I believe that must have been with that Observer that was pushing down here that ended up dying to that Hydralisk. I'm pretty certain that that's what that was from. But here comes a push from KiLLeR right now. Banelings prepared, loaded up in those Overlords. Lots of Roaches. Again, they've got Burrow. They've got those Tunneling Claws. Here comes the engagement. We got to be careful of Force Fields. Those Banelings are going to try to land right up on top. There are the Force Fields. Here go the Banelings trying to target fire down those Colossus. Actually going right for those Immortals as well. And look at the amount of damage those Baneling drops do. The Roaches doing what they can as well. There's still 2 Colossus in play, though. No more Banelings in the Overlord, and uh-oh, not looking good for KiLLeR. Blink Stalkers pushing forward, taking out a few of those Roaches. Again, those Colossus still in play. Oh my gosh, unfortunately, that did not work out well for KiLLeR. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to do enough splash damage. We did see MC's forces were spread out quite a bit, and that cut back drastically on the amount of splash damage that he had to contend with. So right now, KiLLeR is in a defensive position. He's rallying up a bunch of forces, trying to re-up his army, looking for a counterattack or anything. I'm just wondering why MC's pushing back. I'm just assuming right now it is because he's not prepared to engage. He wants to rally up some more forces before he does. Maybe get some more Colossus in play. Again, that level 2 upgrade should be done soon. We've got the Neuroparasite coming through as well as 6 Infestors. So making that transition into a little more Infestor heavy, and Neuroparasite will help him quite a bit if you can position them properly against those Colossus. Also, obviously, Fungal Growth going to help help his Speedlings and Roaches catch up to those Blink Stalkers. So KiLLeR managing to get enough to be able to defend himself. It looks like he should be okay. If MC does decide to push against him right now, I don't think he's in a position to be completely overwhelmed like he was just a few moments ago. So here we go. Get ready for another engagement. There's those fungal growths. Neuroparasite's not going to be ready for this fight, so just dropping a lot of fungals. Stalkers blinking back, though. Roaches continue to push forward. We get some more threats of Baneling drops. There's a fungal, plus those Baneling drops on this Colossus, along those Roaches to catch up. Target firing them down, but look at the fire there from that Colossus, roasting through KiLLeR's army, and KiLLeR losing everything. Again, KiLLeR just getting worked. He's going to be losing most of these Overlords here as well. That may, it's not going to put him in a supply block. Actually, it will. He's going to be in a supply block right now. So MC just completely working KiLLeR there. Let's take a look at the unit loss tab. Yeah, KiLLeR is quite a bit behind, and this is looking a little scary right now. MC could push out, but you know what? He's just going to take advantage of his lead, pull back to his expansion and his main base here, defend up a little bit, get some more units, and then push out. Now, the upgrades did finish, so yes, he is sitting at those level 2 weapons upgrades. What do we have for KiLLeR over here? He is 1-2, but he's a bit outnumbered, and that's the major concern right now. MC has that superior armor count, army count, and here comes that push right now. There's so many Colossus in play, just going to devastate. Those Infestors need to try to get the Neuroparasite down, but they need to avoid the Stalker fire at the same time. So here we go, a couple Neuroparasites going down. The Stalkers pushing forward to try to target fire them. Roaches trying to engage as well, but not enough. MC getting the last of those Infestors and mopping up again for the second time in a row everything that KiLLeR has, and now he's working on the expansion, and KiLLeR just calling the GG. MC started this game with some fast Dark Templar. However, unfortunately for him, we did see KiLLeR was adequately prepared with a couple of Spore Crawlers, and he had enough units to defend no problem. Actually managed to get a full surround on that one Dark Templar and force the other one back. So MC's opening did pretty much 0 damage. After fending off those Dark Templar, we saw KiLLeR push out with a counterattack with a few Speedlings. He was able to do a little bit of damage to the Nexus and then sneak his way right up into MC's main. Now, although he didn't do a lot of damage, he did harass the economy momentarily and stop MC from mining, even if it was just for a short while. KiLLeR stayed on 2 bases and pushed out with very, very roach-heavy unit composition. Unfortunately, though, he wasn't actually able to break MC. In fact, didn't end up doing that much damage. We're going to see some very nice force fields there from MC, buying himself time to get in some more units, and then he also switched to some Immortal production, and that was more than enough to fend off KiLLeR's attack. Our first large engagement came in 19 minutes. Now, we did see KiLLeR try to work with some Baneling dropping. However, MC had a nice spread and with some nice force fields, ended up not taking much damage at all from this. He lost a few Immortals and Zealots, but that was pretty much it, and as such was able to fend off this attack from KiLLeR and then move out with a counterattack. With his counterattack, MC completely mopped up KiLLeR's forces, although he did take some losses with some nice micro and keeping those Colossus nice and protected. He was able to shred through everything KiLLeR had, and then he pushed out with a second attack, and that was what forced the GG. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed this best of 3 series here between KiLLeR and MC. MC did of course prevail. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.